Has 8 boards. Jaylen Brown drops it in. And with that bucket, JB moves past Tommy Heinsohn into 13th place in Celtics history.
That's a lot of points, right?
He's walking with giants now.
Yes, he is.
And those two right there giving Jaylen the historic 2 to surpass Tommy Heinsohn as the Celtics get the win 129-116. Jaylen Brown, by the way, 30 points for the 6th straight game. And the 9th time in the last 10 games, Derrick White leading the way with 33 in the victory. Time now to hear from Joe Mazzulla in Celtics Postgame Plus. The coach's press conference is presented by Amica Insurance, the exclusive auto, home, and life insurance partner of the Boston Celtics. Here's Joe.
Joe, you look at all of the margins. You guys really didn't come out ahead in a lot of those, but you came out ahead at the end. You know you're not going to apologize for winning a game, but do you come out of this feeling like you need to talk about sometimes you don't play well and you win, and sometimes you play well and you lose? Is this one of those where you don't play well and you win?
I thought we played well. I just thought there were moments of the game that they were obviously a little bit better than us, but I didn't think we played poorly coming out of that. I thought our effort was there. I thought our intentionality was there. I just obviously, when you play small, that's going to happen in other areas. But I thought it's easy to see the negative side, but the positive is we just played so much faster on the offensive end, and we created good looks, and we got those. And so it's a trade-off. And at the end of the day, each game is going to tell a different story. And it's easy to say, what looked like it didn't go well, but what went well was our offense. And, they weren't able to switch us. They weren't able to steer us. They weren't able to keep us out of the paint. And we were able to create a ton of 2-on-1s with our speed. And so I thought that was a tale in the second half. So, yeah, obviously we have to get better. I mean, we'll watch film tomorrow when we wake up, and there's 20 possessions that we have to get better at. But I thought the effort and the intentionality was there. We obviously have to do that. But tonight it was, obviously it was about, just kind of the offensive pace and the speed that we had that kind of got us good looks against a team that's one of the best defensive teams in the league.
And then fourth quarter, obviously you guys go crazy, 10 of 15 shooting from 3. Is that just a result of sticking to the plan, sticking to those things that you were just talking about, and just trusting that it's going to eventually work out?
Yeah, I mean, I think Sam hit 4. I think of those, and once we did rebound in the second half, once we got some really good rebounds, that's where we got those off. That's where Sam, I think, got 4 of his off. That's where Ant got his. That's where Derrick got 1 of his. And so I think Ugo had 1. I don't know if he made it, but I know we created a good opportunity on there. But I thought we put strings of good defensive possessions that allowed us to get out and get those. And that's where the connectivity of that lineup has to be there. We have to be able to have one-shot defense, and we have to be able to get out and run.
Joe, you've talked about the importance of embracing Celtics history. So what can you say about the Garden welcoming back Isaiah Thomas and kind of the energy that provided tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say 2 things on that. Before that, I would say even when we were 0-3 or even whatever other external expectations were, it's always humbling and grateful when everyone shows up to the Garden. And I think we were 0-3, 3-3, 5-6, whatever the case was. I always turn to Sam Cassell and I'm like, man, this place is still packed. And so people just appreciate really good basketball. And I think that's what makes the job so special, being here. And you always feel like you got a chance because of that, and you do have a responsibility to that. So I want to say thanks to that. And then again, outside of the fact I couldn't hear in the timeout, I thought it was a great gesture to have IT back. I mean, he's done so much, for the city and really for the organization. And I came right at the tail end of him being here, but just who he was as a person and a player, it just says a lot about him. And he sets an example of, yes, it's about winning, but also when you're a high character guy, people appreciate you, and you're able to leave the place, kind of a little better than you found it.
All right, Isaiah Thomas in the building means that the Celtics got to come through in the fourth quarter, and they did, to get their 16th win of the year. Now 16-11, a half game behind the Toronto Raptors, who we'll talk about a little bit later in the show as the C's face them tomorrow night. But Cleveland lost tonight. You had a couple, the Knicks lost, so a couple Eastern Conference teams falling on this evening. The Hawks as well. Eddie, as you take a look at that, it's all jumbled up together. But the Celtics continue to just put wins together, avoid a 3-game losing streak in this situation. They drop back-to-back, but just put wins together and find themselves right there in the mix in the top 4.
Yeah, that's all you can do is take care of your business, and if somebody else fall off, like there's a couple teams, the Cavs fell off, and those, the Knicks fell off tonight. If you look at that, you just take care of yours, and continue to just build good habits. That's all you can do. That's all you only can control the controllables. Everybody else on the outside, that's peripheral noise. You can't really take care of what they doing or how they getting down. But if you take care of your business, then you put yourself in a good position. And I think we're in a good position right now, especially the way we started the season. When we started the season, it was looking like, wow, I don't know, man. Are we going to be a playing team? I mean, the way that everything was going, but now everything is coming together. We have cohesion from top to bottom as far as coaching staff and every player that's out there. So they know their roles. They know exactly what the rotation is going to look like. And that, to me, was the key. Once they figured that part out, that's when we started making that upward trajectory.
Yeah, started 0-3 and 6, then 16-8. The Celtics are, and they'll try to make it back-to-back wins if they take on the Raptors tomorrow. Meanwhile, we got the dunk and dunk of the game. It's all about the dunk. It's all about the hustle plays. Josh Minot, Derrick White, Ugo.
On that thing.
Here's your dunk and dunk of the game. Again, Ugo with 10 points coming off the bench playing nearly 30 minutes, with the Celtics getting the 13-point win over Miami. All right, we're going to turn to Toronto. Turn ahead to tomorrow evening's game up north of the border. That's coming your way next year on Celtics Postgame Plus. Brought to you by John Sewer in Train Cleaning, the name to know when the trains don't flow. Again, the Celtics could hit everything and get anything they want in that fourth quarter. Derrick White even getting a little kiss off the glass right here. Bacon in the three. There's your drain of the game, and it's more Derrick White as we get into the Four Tough Play. And the Four Tough Play of the game presented by Ford Trucks, the best-selling trucks for 48 years, built for tough. Jordan Walsh, the contest on Fontecchio, and it's Derrick White with the block. T. White again asserting himself on the defensive end. Had 4 blocks in this game. All right, so the Celtics get the win over the Miami Heat. Now it's on to the Toronto Raptors tomorrow night in Toronto. And Eddie, that's a Raptors team who the Celtics took care of just a couple of weeks ago. It's also a team that's a half game ahead of them. They're coming off a couple wins. Toronto just beat Miami. They beat Milwaukee. Your thoughts on tomorrow night's game?
Yeah, we got them when they was reeling. Remember, I think they lost like 3 straight games before we got to them. And I think that it's a team that plays extremely fast. So they're very similar to how Miami plays as far as pace. They want to play fast. They want to play quick. And I always say this, teams that like to play fast and quick don't like to get played fast and quick against. So if we could stop them, do one and dones, rebound the basketball, don't give them second chance opportunities, we'll have a great opportunity to run against them and put up a lot of points and get open shots, open threes, or whatever we want.
And that's almost exactly what Joe Mazzulla was just talking about, right? With what he saw from his team, especially in that second half with them playing faster, good offense, getting those early looks from 3, which obviously led to them blowing it open against Miami in that fourth quarter. As for Toronto, again, with that matchup, it'll be the first time in a while the Celtics playing back-to-back games, but they've been good in this spot.
Yeah, they have been good in this spot. And, hey, you're going to have to be good. This is a team that's ahead of you, so make sure you handle your business. Take care of your business. I know Toronto's a great city, one of my favorites.
Celtics back in action tomorrow against the Raptors. Our coverage begins at 6 p.m. with Celtics pregame live presented by TD Bank. Stay with us after the game for highlights and player and coach reaction on Celtics postgame live presented by your New England Ford dealers. And remember, you can stream all of our coverage on the NBC Sports app and NBCSportsBoston.com. The Celtics live stream is brought to you by your New England Cadillac dealers, the official luxury vehicle of the Boston Celtics. All right, coming up next, Celtics post up, and perhaps the momentous, I should say the momentum shifting moment at TD Garden, which was late in the second quarter. It might all go back to the Patriots' offensive line. They'll be featuring that in Celtics Post Up. That and much more. More player reaction coming your way with Chris and Kayla. Stay tuned.